Hi friends, hope you're well. So today I wanted to share about my experience at Mohanji Centre of Benevolence in Scotland. I went there for the first time in September last year. Now it might seem a bit strange that I'm sharing so late, uh, but I just feel there's a particular time when things are meant to happen, and this seems like the right time to share about it. So before I head down to Scotland, in May last year, I saw Mohanji in London for the first time. There was a one-day event with him. So for me, one of the most exciting thing was meeting a living master from the same tradition as Sai Baba, who has been my spiritual guru for more than 2 decades. When I went for the event there was a brochure about the center, and that's the first time when I got to know about the center. It seemed like a wonderful space, and they were going to consecrate a Sai Baba temple there in June last year. But I had already committed to something, so unfortunately I could not go there. But in Skandavale in Wales, the weekend before, Mohanji had consecrated a Sai Baba idol there as well. Being a part of the consecration at Skandavale uh, was a privilege for me. So when I saw him in London during the day, there were certain processes conducted by teachers or acharyas. Those processes were something. I don't know how to describe them. I've never experienced feeling lighter after a process. Uh, so for me, it was just amazing. Then in September, I learnt Mohanji was conducting a retreat in the center in Scotland. Because I was working, I could take 2 days off from work, so decided to go for the 1st to 4th of September. When I reached the Aberdeen airport, close to where the center is, there were a few other people there who have been connected with Mohanji for a while, who had been to the center previously. So they said that for them, the feeling was just being in Kailash. Now, I have never had the privilege of ever being physically in Kailash, but I would just took it as it seems like it's a very powerful space. By the time we reached our accommodation that day, it was quite late. We went to the center the next day. When I reached the center, I went to Baba's temple. The idol was just, I can't describe in words again. I felt to a very large extent that it is alive, and being there to experience that physically is again something else. So, along with the Baba's idol, there's also a consecrated idol of Dattatreya, and there's also a Shivalinga. The program, when it started, we were in the physical presence of Mohanji for satsangs. There were again some really powerful processes conducted by the acharyas. I could feel lighter, and I feel maybe that's some kind of a cleansing that was happening. So, with my experience at Baba's temple and this cleansing, I just felt that maybe 4 days are not enough. I need to come back. I had taken Monday, Tuesday off, and Tuesday night I was to reach back to London. So I talked to Subhashri, who is a Mohanji Acharya, that can I come back again maybe Friday evening and stay until Sunday. Um, After work Friday, I can fly in, and then Sunday I leave again, and Monday start work again. And she said that, yes, something can be done, you just come. Whilst I was saying that to her, I was also, I don't know, there was this constant ticker in my mind, which was Mohanji, whenever he did a satsang, he said that, oh, I'm here until the 15th. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, I wish I could be here until the 15th, until when Mohanji is physically here in the center. But obviously, a working week, how would that be possible? But then, Baba has his ways. And by the time I decided to leave on Tuesday night, things were planned in such a way that I actually ended up staying until the 15th. So I will talk more about that, but I did want to talk about the Dattatreya idol there. I haven't ever connected directly with Dattatreya previously, mostly from Sai Baba, who is from the Dattatreya tradition. Mohanji is also from the same tradition. In the center, around the idol, there were some benches. So you could go and sit there and just be. And there was a certain kind of peace, calmness, stillness there, which was a very, very, very beautiful presence. Again, I wish I could describe in words, but unfortunately, I can't. And then close to the Dattatreya idol is the Shivling. And on the Monday that we were there, we had the privilege of doing Rudra Abhishek over there. A very simple Rudra Abhishekam, but very, very powerful. So much so that when the Abhishek was done, and I had the privilege of sitting there for a while, the stillness that I experienced there, it just reminded me of being in Dhyanalinga when I went to the Isha Center in Coimbatore and also Mahakaleshwar. And to be honest, there were people talking around, there were some people chanting, but still, the stillness, it was just amazing. Again, this is something you have to experience in person. Every day we had the privilege of going to Baba's temple for the aartis as well. The aartis were just joyous. It just felt like a festival every time. And Baba also seemed so happy. He was just smiling, all his children were there together. And for me, to be honest, whenever I got free time, I was just within the temple or I was just around the temple. I couldn't be far from it because I knew that I don't know how long I am here and when will I come again. So I just wanted to experience it as much as possible. So Tuesday came. It was the day that I had to depart. And until that day, I was thinking, how can I stay here until the 15th? The area where we were having the satsangs every day, it was basically a riding school for horses earlier. So Baba's temple as well was actually a stable of horses. Um, Certain poems actually flowed through me when I was at the center, the links for which I'll give in the description below. You are welcome to listen to them. So within the ex-riding school, where we were having the satsangs, at the extreme corner of it, I found that there was 10 Mbps internet, which was good enough for Zoom calls. I talked to Subhashri and I was like, I don't know, you just get me a tent here or something, but I just need to come back. It just felt like this urge was coming from within. So I just went with the flow. And she also again said that you come, something will be arranged. So the last day, um, as much as I would love to be in Baba's temple as much as possible, but somehow I couldn't be there for more than 5 minutes throughout the day. Something or the other would come up, someone would call me, someone would give some tasks, something would happen. So I was again talking to Baba, Baba, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I don't know. But then at the back of my mind, I was like, okay, at least the evening aarti, by the time the sessions will get over and everything, at least the evening aarti I'll do and then go. So that I'll do very nicely. But then when we were having lunch, I talked to the people that I was going to leave with, and they said, yeah, we have to return the car at 7 p.m. Evening aarti happens at 6 p.m. and it takes an hour to go to the airport. So definitely we have to leave by 5:30. I was so gutted. They said, okay, maximum we can stretch is like 5:45, 6, but not beyond that. At about 5:40-ish, I went inside the temple, bowed down in front of him, again fighting with him. And then I turned around, I said goodbye to everyone. Before leaving the temple, though, I took a photo of Baba. And I am telling you, he was smirking, like, oh, did you have fun? I was so naughty today. I hope you had fun. I was so gutted. I came out, and then Subhashi's husband, Harish, was there. And he said, Arun, yeah, we leave after the Aarti. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you didn't see the schedule. You are going with me. Oh my God. I was so happy. I cannot tell you. The Aarti, the experience of the Aarti, like the joy was just next level. Like, I think Baba was laughing. I was laughing from within, and we just had our own little fun over there. And This always remains with me. Also, there was this tree which I forgot to mention about. That tree, when you look at it from far, it seemed like you could see Mohanji on it. And the closer you came, the figure kind of disappeared. Still, the energy of the tree was really, really beautiful. So I did mention this to Subhashri and some other people as well, just so that everyone can experience the same. And also, there was someone who experienced actually Baba being there by himself. His experience, which is a quite short one compared to mine, I have linked in my description again. So please do check that out. I mean, Baba came and he took food from him as well. So anyway, time came to leave, and I just told to Mohanji, who was there somehow when we were leaving, and also to Subhashri that I don't know, I've just left it to Baba. I'm going to come back. He just has to take care of things at work. Obviously, I was going to continue to work. I'm not going to give up working for that week, but how and etc. He'll take care. So my work situation was such that I had to be there for 2 to 3 days in the office. Now I had reached back London on Tuesday. I'd gone in for a day, but that week, okay, it's fine. But the next week, when I'm going to be in Scotland, how will I come to office every day? And I was thinking, what will I tell my manager? And definitely, I did not want to lie because, anyway, it's not right lying. And secondly, you're going to such a beautiful space. And it has happened with me previously. If I have lied that, oh, I've got a cold and cough, I will end up having a cold and cough. So I did not want that. And then it was Friday. So Friday evening, I had to leave. And then I was like, okay, it's Friday now. What do I say to my manager? That next week I'm not coming to office, obviously working, but not physically in the office. Very interestingly, Friday morning we had a meeting, and my manager said that, hey team, I forgot to tell you that next week I'm working from Florida. So I was like, okay, this is it. If she's not coming, I don't need to tell anyone else. So yeah, and next week then I was working from the center. It was very, very cold. And here's also a picture of how I was working in the barn, all decked up with my hat, my jacket. I did not take my shoes off, still it was cold. But obviously, work has to happen. And it was happening so beautifully, so seamlessly. It was just amazing. One thing I forgot to mention was when I was there earlier for the 4 days, I had the privilege of meeting Mohanji one to one about certain questions I had, which I couldn't discuss in person among other people. But I just felt the time was too short. And before leaving, I did request him, Mohanji, if it's possible, if I could get another few minutes with you. So he said, yes, that can be taken care of. Friday night, I came back, and Saturday, Sunday, we had whatever program scheduled. Sunday, I was to see Mohanji, so I went and I was waiting. And then somehow it turns out that he wasn't there after a while. I asked the people around, and they mentioned that he said he's already talked to me. So he went back. But I actually thought that, oh my God, have I annoyed him? What did I do wrong? And this question just like was stuck in my head. And then because I needed clarity on certain aspects, so I decided that I am not going to eat any food until I get clarity. So the next day also what was planned was that there is an option of going out for the day with Mohanji. He was going to visit Aberdeen, and there were certain things planned. So I was kind of inspired, from the Sai Sat Charitra. And there were stories of people, they're like, oh yeah, we won't eat until, this happens, or give up their food or something of that sorts. So that's what I did. So next day, when everyone was having breakfast or were getting ready to go, I said that, yeah, I'm having Ekadashi, and because I'm not eating now, I don't think I should go. I'll be working anyway. In my head, obviously, I'm like, no, I haven't got clarity. And then there's a very wonderful person called Dirk. He was there in the barn working on certain things. And he said, hey, Arun, what are you doing here? I'm like, yeah, I have a working day, and, I'm not going to eat. So it's okay if I just stay here. He kind of scolded me, saying that how often do you get an opportunity to spend time with a master, a living master in such a way. So you should go. I decided, okay, I'm going to go. In the car as well, I was still working. Thankfully, the internet was just working smoothly, no issues at all. Then around lunchtime, we reached an animal farm. That was the first stop. And interestingly, the first place where everyone stopped before going to the farm was this van, which was serving desserts like hot chocolate. Someone had this big, big brownie. Then someone else had an ice cream. And I'm like, oh, Shambho, come on. Mohanji, I'm not eating. Please, please. Like that in my head, what I was going on. But I was like, okay, I have promised something. I can't eat until I get clarity on that. So I went around the animal farm. It was really beautiful animals as well. They were very well taken care of as well. Open barns and very, very big areas for them to go about. So after that, all of the other people were going for a movie. Now, because I'm working, I cannot go for the movie. I just thought that, okay, this cinema quite likely will be in a mall. So I'll just sit in a cafe and continue working. Now, when we were approaching the cinema, I realized that this was actually a retail park. So this was just the cinema and no cafe or anything around it. I went inside the cinema and very interestingly, again, things were very beautifully taken care of. So within the cinema, there was this particular area where there were cafe-like chairs. Each table had two charging points. So I had one point for my phone, for the internet, and one point for my laptop. Now everyone was going into the movie. The problem was the seats were right in front of the snack counter. Now people are coming, they're taking popcorn, they're taking drinks, they're taking whatnot. And I'm like, should I go into the cinema and just tell Mohanji that, yeah, I'm not eating, I need clarity. And then I was like, no, I can't disturb in the movie and this and that. And then by that time, the movie had begun. But very interestingly, I was just drinking water throughout the day, since the last day actually, but I was completely fine. I was functioning even better actually. I continued working. Then Fiaz came. He had actually gone to drop someone at the airport. He hadn't gone for the movie himself. So whilst I was working, we were talking about things. And then, just through the conversation, I got the clarity I needed. So, all the masters, their ways are beyond our understanding. This experience was just so, so beautiful. And I was like, okay, I've got the clarity now. So I finally broke my fast with ice cream. It was most delicious ice cream ever. 3 scoops of ice cream I had. Then because there were fewer people left, we had some very intimate satsangs, like, just 15, 20 people. Before coming here, I've always had this issue where I've not been able to look into the eyes of a realized master. My eyes just go down. I just can't look straight into their eyes. And throughout the program, people kept telling me that you need to look into his eyes, you need to look into his eyes and this and that. But I was like, no, 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 I can't. So I actually asked him in one of the first earlier days and I said, Mohanji, everyone's asking to uh, look into your eyes, but I'm not able to. And he said, it's fine. Whatever, if you can look at the feet, you look at the feet. And that's what I could do. Any guru, I could only look at their feet. But then when we had those intimate satsangs, more and more people started saying, no, 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 you need to look into his eye. You need to look into his eyes. All of the satsangs, I would go and sit in the front because I did not want any distraction. So Wednesday the 13th, when we had the satsang, I again, as usual, went and sat in the front. When Mohanji came for the satsang, he said, you go and sit behind Swami. I was like, oh my God, what did I do now? I can't even think of anything I did wrong. Why is he making me sit behind Swami? So Swami Govinda had come from Skandavale and he was there throughout the program. In fact, before the program as well, he was there. So I went and sat there. This is when Preeti, who was sitting behind me, said that you need to look into his eyes like you look into your mother's eyes. For me, if it's someone's opinion, I may or may not follow it. But if it's a guidance from a master, obviously you have to follow it. I did not have this clarity if this is a guidance or is this someone's opinion. All of these people, is this their opinion? So I asked Mohanji And Mohanji, how do we know the difference between someone's opinion and guidance from a master? Because again, people have been saying to look into your eyes, look into your eyes. So he said, so look, what's the problem? I was a bit taken aback. Okay, look into his eyes. Now he said to look. I cannot not look. So that's when I first time, I looked for 2, 3 seconds, and then there was something that happened within. I don't know again how to describe it. And then, I would try and increase the duration. There were some tears coming and this and that. Now I don't understand what was happening. So I was just being there, just experiencing it, trying not to think too much. Then the satsang got over. We went down for a meal. So I was talking to Jack and I said that, yeah, today I looked into his eyes, man. Tomorrow, the whole satsang, I'm going to stare into his eyes. I don't care what's going to happen. So yeah, he was like, yeah, man, you might just get enlightened tomorrow. So we were just, having a laugh about that. But somehow the satsang next day got cancelled. In fact, then we did not have satsangs at all. So then Friday came, the last day. Preeti, Shane and I, we were on the same flight, 8:30 p.m. from Aberdeen. Mohanji was leaving in the morning on Friday. And whilst leaving, he asked us individually, actually, that when are we leaving? So obviously, he thought, we're on the same flight. But then again, there was this little, you know, fun left. Maybe I think it was Baba and his, game plan. Okay, let's have some little more fun. We got to know the flight got delayed and it was going to depart at 9:30. So we thought, yes, we can do the evening aarti and then go without any hassles. Shanae wasn't able to check in, unfortunately. So she called the customer care and they said that, oh, even if the flight is delayed, you have to be there in time if you have check-in baggages. So by the time the aarti got over, I was relaxing, coming out of the temple, and they were like, oh, we have to go now. We went to the airport as fast as we could. But by the time we reached there, the bag check-in counter had closed. I knew quite certainly we won't be boarding this flight. So I immediately got on with the customer care. And I said, okay, this is the situation. And then they said, okay, do you see this person at this counter? And no, and just lots of back and forth happening. He said that, well, there's a morning flight going to Gatwick instead, but there's one seat left. Do you want me to put you on that? So I quickly checked with Fiaz, who had kindly come to drop us off at the airport. And he said, just don't think, just go for it. So I said, okay, yeah, just put me on the flight. I was actually in a bit shock because knowing EasyJet, I knew I was going to spend at least £100 more on this change of ticket. That's the usual protocol. They charge you some amount of money. But this person just did it free of cost. Then I was trying to help, the ladies. I talked to their agent and he said, no, we can't help you until the flight has been delayed for more than 3 hours. So we decided we should head back to the center. Meanwhile, on the way, Preeti tried them again, and unfortunately, the flight departed at 11:23 p.m. So just before 3 hours would have gotten over. And then unfortunately, they had to rebook the flights. So for me, that grace element was there. I was so grateful that without charging a penny, EasyJet changed their flight tickets for me. And for them as well, they got to spend more time at MCB. So there was grace and there was a bit of, pranking happening for us. So I've tried to share as much as I can remember from back then. But before I close the video, I do want to mention that Mohanji is back in the UK and he's here for the first anniversary celebrations for the consecration of the temple. So 15th and 16th of June, he'll be there. There's a residential option as well, so you're more than welcome to come and join for that. Now, if you can't come for that, he is having a one-day program in London, close to Stanmore. And there's also Devi Mohan coming down. She's doing conscious dancing. It is just fantastic. Again, you shed so much. It's just beautiful. You should come and experience that. And Mohanji will also give Shaktipat on that day. Also, from the 6th of July to the 19th of July, there is another retreat planned at MCB Scotland. So you have that option as well. The first 4 days are residential. After that, they're mostly non-residential, but you're welcome to come for them. I have given the links for all of them in the description below. So I really, really hope you can come and join us. Come and join for at least one of the sessions. See, being in the presence of a living master is a privilege, and being in such close proximity is, I think, an extra privilege. And the more use you can make of it, just do it. And when you actually come back, even if you come for a day, you will genuinely feel lighter physically. So just to shed the weight that you actually don't even see, or even your weighing scale can't see, um, and just for the experience, for whatever reason, just come. It's going to be a beautiful experience. Thank you so much for your time. Take care. Bye.
Mohanji loves you.